Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Real Heroes Show. You got Cory and Nick with you here as always. And in today's video, we were well fed with a Dune trailer.
Yes,
we've been starving for Dune stuff. The first trailer came out in September of last year, so 10 months ago. It was a movie that was supposed to come out in December of 2020, got pushed back to October. Now it got pushed back to late October, but it seems that the promotional hype train has finally left the station, and we both are trying to clean our jaws up from the floor where they fell down to.
Yeah.
And we figured, why not film that? So Nick, how are you today, my friend? How's everything?
Doing well. Countdown for the end of the week is upon us. It's Thursday, and we were treated. I wasn't expecting it, but thank God.
Yeah, a lot of people hoping for a Spider-Man trailer, but yeah. I was more excited to see this, to be completely honest with you. This movie is it's my number one most anticipated film for the rest of the year. I know there's a lot of Marvel and DC shit coming out, but this one, if you know the filmmaker and you know the movies that he's made, if you've seen Prisoners or Enemy or Sicario or Arrival or Blade Runner 2049, you know that anything that Denis does is going to be pretty spectacular. This one is also really interesting because David Lynch tried to make this movie back in the 80s, and it's the one film that he has openly admitted he truly regrets making and said that he had a horrible experience doing. And it's a story that has pretty much been labeled as unfilmable. So I always like these attempt the impossible type situations, and man, this trailer, I don't know about you, but like my hype was pretty high for it already, but it turned into like a whole new gear.
Yeah. I haven't read the book since it's been quite a while since I used to bother a buddy of mine that used to work at a Barnes and Noble.
Oh man, remember those?
Yeah, Barnes and Nobles.
Some of those still exist.
Yeah, you can find them here and there. They were much more abundant, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. But we used to go there and get a very sugary drink. Because why not? We were idiots. And
was that from the Starbucks that was inside of Barnes and Noble?
Yeah, like what's 10 to 20 shots of some vanilla in your drink,
in your caramel macchiato, right?
Something like that. And it was like, oh my God, it just tastes like a milkshake. And then we're like super wired, and I'm like, hey, what better thing to do than just go read a book? That was how I found out about A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin.
Okay.
And I read the first book, and then proceeded to buy the whole series whenever that gets finished. But I also read Dune.
Never getting finished.
From time to time. Yeah, a rip. And I want to reread it after this movie takes place. I had a buddy of ours that has recently read it and has kind of refreshed part of my memories of like, I think I remember that, but it's always interesting to see how such an epic book gets translated to the silver screen. And as you mentioned, this is an unfilmable movie. Yeah, maybe back in the 80s, yes, it was. Now we're being in the a new decade where technology and maybe the level of writing and acting is much more abundant. I have high hopes for this. I mean, if there's anything to judge and to spout based on what we saw today in this trailer, I mean, damn, it's going to be an epic, on multiple levels. So, I would have to agree. I think based with all the movies that are coming out this year, and a lot of it is, superhero based. This is,
this is true sci-fi, man.
This might take the cake. Yeah. Like an actual sci-fi movie that is going to blow people away. And, we're about, maybe 90-ish days.
Yeah, we're 3 months to the day
away. So countdown.
I haven't read the books. So to me, this is something that's going to be a brand. I've heard that they're really big books, and there's like 12 of them or something like that. But I plan on reading at least the first half of the first book after this comes out, because from what I can gather, this is supposed to be part one of a two-part film series that covers just the first book. The director said he wouldn't commit to do the project unless it was going to be filmed as two separate movies, because it was just, there's too much going on to try to cram it all into one.
Yeah,
we've seen that happen before. The Harry Potter books, you can't, like, once you get to like the fourth Harry Potter movie, they're cutting out like half of the book for the film adaptation. It even got to the point where the final Harry Potter movie got split into two because there was too much happening. They couldn't cut out. They had to make two films out of it. That's why we have extended editions of Lord of the Rings movies and all that, because there's just so much happening in the books. So I'm really excited for the fact that it should be a two-part series of films. I don't know much of what to expect. I know that a lot of George Lucas's inspiration for Star Wars came from Dune. The desert planet, spice, the idea of the Force, a lot of that stuff comes from Dune. So I'm anticipating a bunch of people saying that it's a Star Wars ripoff who don't know any better. But we'll see what happens there. But like you mentioned, the acting. So let's go over some of these cast members, because this trailer, it showed us a lot of the people that are in this movie. So you got Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista, one of the Skarsgårds, Jessica Ferguson, David, oh God, what is, I can't remember who the last person is that I wanted to mention, but it's stacked. It's insane. Like there is a Oscar-worthy level cast.
Very much so.
It's kind of a who's who of what's going on, and it appears that it's a couple different houses, kind of like a Game of Thrones-y type thing, which they could have drawn inspiration from this too back then, because you got House Atreides, House Harkonnen, who are kind of your heroes and villains, and then there are the Freemen, which I guess are the folks that actually live on Arrakis, which is the planet that everybody's trying to harvest spice off of, because spice is basically what controls the universe. It controls power, it controls the economy, it controls pretty much everything. So I am blown away by the level of talent that signed on to do this film, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. How well do you think they're going to be able to balance having that many superstars in one film?
Did they say how long the movie runtime is for this? I mean, I have to imagine it's like 3 hours.
Somebody texted me about it earlier. I'm looking right now.
I'll say, one of the good things about maybe drawing from inspiration of having so many people on main characters on a film, how to balance it, especially when you've got big names. I'd say between a couple of the Marvel movies, in particular Infinity War and Endgame, even by that point, people who were maybe B-listers or haven't had a lot of screen time thus far in Marvel, but still relatively big actors. So trying to find enough screen time in a 2.5 hour to 3-ish hour movie, I think that's kind of like, hey, the palette is there, the template is there. You just have to, I think what it really relies to, not just for the director of time management, but it's just
writing,
like I think the writing is, like the script is
sunk,
right, heavily weighed on the script, which the guy who wrote it, he's got a good track record, so I think that too kind of boasts more confidence for what we're going to get. And I'd even say, for the sake of the trailer, it seemed like there was a good amount of screen time.
They showed everybody, and I felt like with this trailer, it was structured perfectly for this type of film. Because it's not like a Marvel movie where it's guaranteed that everybody and their mother's going to go see it opening weekend because it has a Marvel logo in front of it. This one is, yes, it's intellectual property, but it is a very unproven one that not a lot of people know about. So by doing what they did in this trailer, I mean, most trailers these days are 2 to 2.5 minutes long. This one was 3.5 minutes. It showed a lot. It gave some story beats and explained some things. And it showed there is an A-list cast for this film. Should want to go see this because a lot of your favorites are here. You know, whether you like Chalamet and the indie movies he's done, or you watch Zendaya on Euphoria or the Spider-Man movies, or Dave Bautista or Josh Brolin in the MCU, and Oscar Isaac, whether it's Star Wars or the Coen Brothers movies he's done. Like there's someone in this movie that everybody can gravitate to. And showing all of them, I thought was extremely important. And God, I can't wait. It really feels like everybody that signed on to do this movie, whether it's from a director, cinematographer, actors, composer, everybody wanted to do it because they're a huge fan of these books and this story, which is super cool. We'll get into the music in a few minutes because I have some fun stories. But they also did over the last 2 days, I guess, like an IMAX preview. You could have bought tickets to go see like a 10 or 12 minute preview in IMAX, and then they showed this trailer and some other stuff after it. But of course, they invited the media out to some of that. And I'm just going to read the headlines from some of these articles because I don't want to get too into the thick of it. But Dune, the first footage reveals a feast for the senses. Denis Villeneuve's Dune feels bigger and louder than the trailers make it look. Dune promises a stunning science fiction epic that both honors and tweaks the books. Dune IMAX event reveals Denis' magnum opus. We saw 35 minutes of Dune and it looks incredible. Dune promises to be the latest decade-defining blockbuster. Dune will be a game changer. Dune has changed the opening of the sci-fi epic, and that's awesome. It looks like this will be a full-on masterpiece. Those are just the headlines from a lot of these articles. And these people saw 10 freaking minutes of this movie, and they're already talking about it being a game changer, which is
redefining sci-fi. I could see that, you know, and I feel like for any sci-fi movie that follows this up, good luck. You know, I don't care about Star Wars either, too. I mean, people say, "Oh, it's a Star Wars ripoff." It's like you're gonna say it's a Star Wars ripoff, and yet it does better than Star Wars.
Hopefully, something like this will push the boundaries for Star Wars.
Exactly. I was like, if anything, this should be something to kind of go, damn, they really killed it. We need to live up to the level of Star Wars and at least hit it on par, if not try to exceed that level. But I could totally see all that being true. You know, this decade's masterpiece.
There are lots of folks saying it's like not since they've seen Star Wars or Lord of the Rings for the first time have they seen stuff like this. Like this could be like the next big IP, big blockbuster type thing that just grabs people and
I'd love it.
Which is killer.
You know, if it does that, and I mean, I can't imagine it won't do well. So. You know,
I'm nervous, man, for the financial side of it. I want it to do well, but
I really, and I understand that people are skeptical, and I'm not really expecting anyone to go out and read the books, but maybe people who are unfamiliar with it and they just want to see, you know, how people like us have reviewed it, how we've rated it and recommended it, and if that's enough to get people to see it, awesome. Not only that, but for the sake of it doing well, which, you know, again, hopefully it does, that promotes more growth and expansion within the Dune universe. You know, who knows if we'll get some spin-off shows or
it's funny, there was news that came out right after the trailer that there is a Dune prequel series that is in the works for HBO Max.
Perfect.
That like
read my damn mind.
It's already happening, and this movie is a day and date release, so it's in theaters and on HBO Max the same day. Obviously, if you are feeling safe going to a theater, this would be the one this year to go to a theater for. But then after you watch it in theaters, if you want to go back and catch all the details and everything again, get home and pop it on
Just
HBO
watch
Max
it.
and
Yeah.
watch it again. It is 2 hours and 35 minutes, so it is it's a long movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like it kind of needs to be.
Absolutely.
Given the epicness and the scale. Getting back into the Star Wars side of it, the cinematographer is Greg Fraser, who shot Rogue One, and he also shot half of season 1 of The Mandalorian. So very talented cinematographer, paired up with an extremely talented director. Some of the shots in the trailer, holy scale. It's huge, man.
Yeah.
There's one where I think it's a Imperial ship, which again, they call them Imperials, which is funny because Star Wars references, but it's on the planet Caladan, I think is the name of it, which is where the Atreides family lives. It's all mountains, and there's this giant ship, and in this little teeny tiny corner of the frame, it looks like a bunch of ants, but it's like all people.
Yeah.
And like this, the movie makes everything feel massive and huge, and it's almost kind of like Star Wars imagery on steroids, which
God, I
can't wait.
Like next level. I mean, even
so hyped.
I mean, just a lot of stuff when Zendaya references, being able to see the spice from the sand, and kind of shifts in and out of focus. Like just that looks cool. Even the scale of the I think it was at the end when the sand creature.
The sandworm.
Sandworm, dude. I was like,
huge.
That thing is just enormous. Like, they're just like, here's a tiny person, and then here's like the damn sandworm. Just but just the level of like all the teeth too. I'm like, holy crap.
And the people that went to go see the IMAX preview, they said that when the sandworm makes its way out of the sand, that the bass in the theater like rumbled the entire room, and I was just like,
amazing. I need to experience that
straight into my body right now. The next 3 months, man. I know there's a lot of cool shit coming out, but after this trailer, all I've been able to think about today on a movie side of things is this. So last thing I want to touch on is the music. So the IMAX preview, they showed part of the film. They showed this trailer, and then they also showed like some interviews with the cast and crew or whatever. So Hans Zimmer did the music for this movie, which obviously
legend,
one of the best out there. If it's one of your favorite blockbuster movies, there's a good chance that either him or John Williams did the music for it.
Done it,
he was up to do Tenet, the Christopher Nolan film, but that was happening filming wise and production wise at the same time as Dune. And Hans Zimmer has collaborated with Nolan on everything, all the Batman movies, Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk, all of it. He turned down Tenet to do Dune because Dune is one of his favorite stories of all time. So that's fun fact number one.
Nice. Which
should let you know how big that is, because usually like when Christopher Nolan calls, you don't say no, but Christopher Nolan called and Hans Zimmer was like, see ya.
Sorry, Chris.
Going to do Dune.
Peace.
And then secondly, he said in the interview that they showed for the IMAX stuff that he doesn't necessarily like it when music about aliens sounds very Earth-like and very human. So for this movie, he invented new instruments to make the music sound more alien and to make you feel uncomfortable and tense. And like the people that saw the preview said, especially the music that they did for the Harkonnens, which are all the completely no-haired evil folks, that it's like the music is actually like out of this world. Like it doesn't sound like anything you've ever heard before. And the choral stuff and all the singing and everything in the trailer that came out today, I'm imagining that's for the Freeman, because it kind of sounds like a nice desert type thing. But whew, man,
that's actually really cool to hear.
Who invents instruments today? Like come on, man.
With the amount of instruments that just exist and have been created or have other renditions of them over the centuries. I mean, to create something new, that's pretty remarkable. Again, I think just the level of, what's the word? Like maybe passion that Hans Zimmer has for this movie. Again, to turn down Nolan, who you've done and collaborated with numerous times, to be like, I gotta follow my passion on this one here, Chris. Like, I love this IP, this series. I've wanted to do this my entire life, sort of thing, maybe. And all of a sudden, there's the opportunity, just because you've got this extremely great reputation as a composer, and now you get to do it. But then just to kind of think outside the box. Again, I think that's what makes a great composer. You know, just to do something different, create something new. So. I mean, the Dark Knight soundtracks is definitely one of my favorite ones by Hans Zimmer.
Interstellar,
along with Interstellar. So I don't want to hype it up even more, but I almost kind of expect this soundtrack to be like maybe his best overall.
It could be
certainly up there with everything that he's done. So I mean,
and you mentioned passion, right? So like, it feels like this movie has a lot of buzz in the industry, like internally. Like a lot of people either wanted to work on it or they can't wait to see it. Like there were a bunch of, you know, directors on Twitter today that were retweeting the trailer and they were all just like, holy shit, you guys, check this out. Like I read an interview today with David S. Goyer, who is the screenwriter for the entire Nolan Batman trilogy. He's doing an adaptation of The Sandman for Netflix right now. He did the Isaac Asimov Foundation show for Apple TV. Worked on Westworld. Like he's done a ton of screenplays. And there was the interviewer said, like, what's one story that you didn't get to do or you would have liked to have done? And he was like, yeah, Dune is at the top of the list, but and he was like, but Denny got that one, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be amazing. So like everybody knows about this story. Everybody wants to see it come to fruition, and I hope it's a massive success, and that they at least get to make the second part, and then maybe some more after that, if it's well received. So if it ends up being like a Lord of the Rings generational type thing, then hell yeah,
I'm all for it.
I'm in. So
I'm all for it.
That trailer gets a 9.5 out of 10 for me, because it did everything it needed to do to take somebody who didn't know about the movie and educate them on it, or to take somebody who was already excited, get them even more excited.
Yeah, I agree with you. As far as like rating a trailer for a trailer's sake, you know, and then including everything else that we just talked about too in the trailer, like you hit all points on it. Like, I guess there's the only reason why it couldn't be a perfect score is maybe just
not the damn movie.
It's not exactly. It's not the movie itself. So I mean, you know, I don't think this is going to be one of those things where you say the trailer was better than the movie, because this is just a 3.5 minute trailer. People got to see it, saw 10 minutes, and wrote great things already. Yeah. You figure 2.5 hours worth. We're gonna get our minds blown. You know? Yeah, I think so. And then, I know I'm hyping it up a bit, but I think it deserves all the hype.
Couple that in with the fact that that's just one of 3 like big movies that are coming out that same day. So October 22nd, you have Dune that comes out. Wes Anderson's French Dispatch movie comes out, which has a cast that's almost as big, if not bigger, than Dune. And then Edgar Wright's new horror movie, Last Night in Soho, also comes out on the 22nd. So it's like a moviegoer's dream weekend.
Yeah.
And none of those stories are like Star Wars or Marvel. It's just all like
others, like just other genres.
Shit.
Yeah, like
it's gonna be incredible.
Imagine watching all
my birthday. Can't wait for that.
Hey, imagine watching all 3 movies like in the same day. Like,
no, I don't think I'd be able to. I wouldn't be able to digest all of it. So
yeah.
And how do you choose like which one to start with and which one to end with? That's
because you got to figure depending on what you saw first, second, or third,
right?
Like to retain the feeling and then to go home and write about it, record it, and just elaborate on it. Like it's almost like it's a receptory overload.
Yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful thing.
And I don't I don't recommend like people doing that. Just my opinion would be, I think you got to give those movies what they deserve.
Yeah, I might have to
digest
like
them.
rent a hotel next to the theater or something and just like
a day,
see
maybe.
one Friday, see one Saturday, and see one Sunday, and then
Yep.
call that a weekend, take off from work or something.
Yep. What'd you do this weekend? I rented a hotel. Oh, cool. Where'd you go?
The
The movies.
The movies.
The movies. Really? Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So if you guys can't tell, we're hyped for this. The hype is real. This movie's gonna kick ass. I'm fully convinced of that. So I think that's just about enough for us. Would love to hear what everybody else on the other side of the camera and the land of the internet has to say. So drop us a comment below. Let us know what you thought of this trailer. Let us know if you're excited for it. Are you going to go see it in IMAX? Are you going to see it in Dolby Cinema? Are you just going to watch it at home on HBO Max? What are your plans for this sci-fi extravaganza? Drop us that comment. Let us know. And as always, if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so for free. Just give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on those notifications, and share the videos with your friends. We'll be back tomorrow with a review of this week's Bad Batch over on Disney Plus, and then Monday of next week, I'm begrudgingly doing Ted Lasso reviews, so it's gonna be fun. That comes out this weekend, and we're gonna dissect it and have it up on the channel. So stay tuned for all that. Until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Peace.